Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode on deck. I'm Russ Morgan here with my man Finn Stanza. I'm really pumped we have him joining here for the playoffs. Year two of on deck here on FTSN. Doing this is their second full year, second year World Series. Luckily, I got you on, so I won't have Bobby yelling in the background about Tua like I had last year when I did. I was hot. Obviously, you get you're a Jays fan, so you're gonna get a little frustrated. I'm a Yankees guy. I get a little animated. I know people. I know what people are like. I'm not on the team. I don't care. It's like I care that much. So I'm yelling, and some guy jumps on. He's like, can't hear you because Bobby's like, doing this, do it. So luckily, Evan's working the boards for me back here, so we won't have that problem. But how you doing after that?
I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted.
Exhausted.
That was what a series. But the crazy part about that series, for me, Friday, I'm so happy they're going. It's for me, it's nice to see a team that was resilient, that the team that was the greatest comeback team this year found a way to do it, but they shot themselves a little bit in the foot, fell down 2-0. Then they clawed their way back. They were phenomenal in game 3 and 4. They had game 5 in their grasp, and then we'll talk about it, but where managers lean back and start overthinking and get back to analytics, which I cannot stand. Sorry, I want to go back to there we go. That's better. It's cutting off. So no, for me, it was game 5 was the heartbreaker for me. It was actually my birthday, and like I'm going, what is this guy doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? And it turned out that he overthought it. We'll get into that, and that really broke my heart. And I was told everybody they're done. They're absolutely done. There's no way they're coming back. And the next thing you know, the crowd, the way they played on Sunday night, it was absolutely phenomenal. And then, honestly, you had your Joe Carter moment. This is better than the Jose Batista moment. Like if you look at what happened, this is greater than Jose Batista because it wasn't in the ALDS. It was in the LCS. What George Springer did. This is why you go get a George Springer. The moment, the feel, the aspect, the nerves. This is why baseball. I love. There's different sports. So like I find basketball never has that sense of fear. Football, you're nervous no matter what, but you can sort of figure out how a game's going. I find the first round of any of the hockey playoffs is phenomenal. But after that, it sort of dies down. There's something about baseball playoffs and somebody literally having the ball in their hand and a manager trying to figure out who is that pitcher that's going to get that player out. The drama of baseball. People, why do you like baseball? I go, the games like Monday night are why you want to watch baseball. The Kirk Gibson moments, the Madison Bumgarner moments where he comes in and pitches 7 innings of shutout baseball in the playoffs where he was insane. The David Freese moments, the even the Scott Brocious moments, and the Aaron Boone moments, and the Kirk Schilling. These are why you watch these games. Like baseball has drama like nobody else, and what we had on Monday night was incredible. But the crazy part about the whole drama is the Seattle Mariners are a very good team that rely too much on the long ball. They struck out a lot in the playoffs, like a lot, and they crapped the bed. They had a 2-0 lead. They crapped that away. They had a 3-0. They had a 3-2. They had a 3-2 lead. They crapped that away, and they had a 3-1 lead in the final game, and they overthought it and they effed themselves. No, but the playoffs from that perspective has been great. We'll also talk about the Dodgers, but from a Jays perspective, it's been absolutely phenomenal. And we'll also talk about it near the end. We're going to figure out the reason why we're wearing Expos is obviously I'm a proud Expos fan. And for anyone who's watching, who will be watching, please take 90 minutes out of your time to go watch on Netflix Who Killed the Montreal Expos, because I know most of the story, but it's important to understand and learn that story. And I believe everyone should go and see what's going on with the story behind it, because there's an interesting story about how there is a lot of fans that are Montreal fans, and there's the conspiracy of kill the Montreal Expos was real by Bud Selig and Jeffrey Loria, and the people before it and the city and the government who didn't want to support it.
Sucks.
And it's very frustrating.
Bud Selig sucks.
No, but really take the time. But really, I really take the time, and we're gonna have some shows probably with myself and Russ and Alex, and I might be getting another guest who's a big Expos fan to come on a show, which will probably in the next week or so. By next Wednesday, we will have a show or two tied to this documentary. But I really hope that people take the time. Russ, I hope you take the 90 minutes to go watch it.
I will definitely.
You need to understand the passion that we had. Just to look back on how good that team in '94 was, and how carelessly they got rid of these players in '95 for no particular reason over the strike before they had to, and then what happened in 1999 and then the firing of the most amazing manager I could remember, Felipe Alou. It's just like the way this team was handled and treated by the league, by the government, and by the owners of this team was despicable. It's absolutely despicable. So I hope people just take the 90 minutes to watch it and appreciate how good this team was and how good baseball's better when there's more teams south of the border. It just is. It's a global game, and Montreal, if they had a stadium, we'd still be here. So the fact that the government and ownership weren't willing to do what was necessary is ridiculous, because you like, I think you know this from anything. You build a stadium. The reason why Tampa isn't successful is there's no stadium. You build a decent stadium. I don't care if it's in Colorado. I don't care if it's in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh sucks. The Pirates stink. They haven't been relevant in 35 years. People are still going to the games. It's America's it's a pastime. The cheapest thing for people to do. It's very expensive to go to a basketball game, Russ. It's expensive to go to a hockey game. It's very expensive to go to a football game. The one thing you can do on a Sunday afternoon or on a Tuesday night, no matter what, in the month of July, is pick up a ticket to go to a baseball game and sit in the bleachers and grab a drink, and you could do that for $20, $30 to all in. You can't do that with any other sport. You can't get into a basketball game for that. You can't get into a hockey game for that. You can't get into a football game for that unless you're the Dolphins or the Jets. So, honestly, people take the time to watch the documentary on it.
I will definitely get it. Finn Sammy, thanks for tuning in, Sammy. I appreciate it.
He's a big Braves fan. I don't know if you know that he's a big Braves fan.
I thought he said Rays.
Sammy's a very big Braves fan. He's a Atlanta Braves fan.
With the accent, I thought he said Rays, but
he's a Braves fan.
But I will say you brought up the Pirates, and I know Sammy's a Puerto Rican, so rest in peace, Roberto Clemente, one of the best. We lost him. Obviously, I only watched him on YouTube, but I know the story. But I'm definitely going to take the time, and I'm with you. Just like I'm with Sammy and you. I don't have a dog in the fight here. At the end of the day, I just want a good series. Like, I just want great baseball, but I prefer the Blue Jays to win. I'm an AL guy. I don't like the Dodgers. At the end of the day, I'm an AL guy. I like, so my rooting interest more for the Jays. I'd rather see them win. I like the team. I like the dynamics. I like, you got a guy like Lucas who was 12 years in 10 years in the minors, I want to say. Yeah. A guy like Ernie Clement who got cut. I mean,
Vladimir 29 in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean he's
29 in the playoffs. Ernie Clement. You
have Vladimir Guerrero. The enjoyment he plays with the game and the life of just playing a game is amazing. And I go back to like one of the better baseball movies and was Moneyball, and the guy they're recording Billy Bean, and he goes, everybody one day gets told they don't get to play the child's game anymore, and you just see the child emotion when you see Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Play. So I mean, and he definitely, like you said, he's a spark plug of that Blue Jays team. But I think, and I'm with you. The difference with watching a baseball game from like football or basketball or even hockey is, hockey's a little more because there's not as much action. So you have to really be in tune the whole game to watch it. And when you get that home run from George Springer, which was very close to Joe Carter's home run, right in that same area.
Yeah.
When they won the World Series, I mean, he's just clutch. I mean, World Series MVP in 2017 with the Astros. The guy's just clutch. But to lose the first two games in Toronto, and then you go take two in Seattle. Yes, you lose game 5, but come back and win game 6 and game 7, and win game 7 in the fashion they did. And I'm with you. I'd like to see more Bassett. The one thing I wish the Jays had more of was more left-handed arms, because when you saw the Dodgers struggled against the Phillies, it was against left-handed arms.
Well, they have Lauer. I think they might bench Little, depending on what happens, but they do have Lauer. Lauer got them through the Dogs when they needed a pitcher because of injuries. Eric Lauer did come through in July and August for the Jays and even started. So between Fluharty and Lauer, they can't do it. I think Little's just go. We'll talk about it, but Little is, I think, terrified now. I think you can't put him in that spot. You can't put him in that spot.
But it's just, I mean, I get why people say they don't like baseball. Oh, it's slow. It's this. I'm like, but it's not. It's a thinking man's game.
Oh my God.
You got to be a little smarter. Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I love basketball. I love football. I live for watching college football on Saturdays, and I wish I could say that on Sundays, but I can't really say that right now because I am a New York Jets fan. But I mean, baseball, you have to be in tune. You got to think a little bit, and that's where it's the difference. But I mean, even not even having my team in, I'm watching every game, every inning, on the edge of my seat, ready to go because it's playoff baseball, and this is the best time in sport. It's
not hard to hit a baseball. Not hard to hit. It's the hardest thing to do. Like to try to. I don't know if you stood there. I've done it. I've hit it. I've hit one before, but you go to a cage. You go to a baseball. Whether you're playing softball or baseball, you go to the slow, go to the medium, and you're a pitch coming 85, 90, 100 miles an hour. You don't realize the level of hand-eye coordination you need to have to even touch the baseball. Like someone's throwing a knuckle curve at 85 to 90 miles an hour. How are you supposed to hit that thing without phenomenal hand-eye coordination and a balance? Because if you look in these series, people are swinging at pitches like Julio Rodriguez's last swing. You knew he was swinging no matter what. I don't think he thought he was going to walk there. He wanted to just. That pitch was filthy, and it was a ball all day. But he couldn't get to it. There's no chance. And you're talking about Julio Rodriguez, who was phenomenal for the Mariners in the playoffs. Like it's like he's their second best player, and he couldn't touch the baseball.
That ball was in the left-hander's batters. It was in the batter's.
But that's when everything happens, right? You knew he was going to swing.
Oh yeah. But it's like have fun when the pitch starts here, up there. All it looks good, and then just falls right off the table. So the time you see it, because especially with these MLB guys, their slider or curveball, even their changeup is 92 to 98. So you got to react quick. Okay, I'm gonna go, and then it just falls off the table. I remember the first time I saw 98. I was playing a summer ball going into college, and one of the teams had this guy. He played at Cal State Fullerton, then transferred to a D2. He threw 98, and it looked good. Had a little movement on it, and I swung, and it shattered my bat, and my barrel went into right field, and the ball was like just a dribbler. And the next thing he throws is just a wicked slider, and I'm like, oh, I better I'm not that great. I was a slap hitter, Evan. So I was like, I better choke up and just do what I do best and try to, just. I'm like, but it's the reaction. I'm like, okay, I'm going. If I see a fastball, but it was like, I was like, man, I love that wood bat too.
Yeah. Well, you saw some of the bats the way they were breaking in the series. The one thing I will tell you about this overall playoffs is, boy, oh boy, are these teams going to be utilizing the robo, because so many pitches were just every umpire had a different strike zone in this playoffs. Every game there was a different call. I don't know if you saw Suarez, how he went face to face with the ump in Game 7 because he didn't like the call inside. Yeah. It's going to be something. But the problem is that you have to be careful, because if you let the batter control, for example, if you let that, it only works defensively. But imagine if the batter allowed to do it. I don't think the batter's allowed to do it, right? The batter can't question it, can
I
they?
think whenever they implement it.
No, but the question is, you have to be careful because I don't know how many challenges they get, but you have to be careful because you have to two. But I don't know if it's two offensively, two defensively. But because imagine every batter, you're the first batter, you don't like it, you do this, you're going to blow it. And that's why I think it needs to be either the manager. You have to be strategic with it because if you don't utilize it properly, you're going to blow them in the beginning of the game. People are going to overutilize them.
Luckily, we don't have that this year.
Yeah. Oh my God, how much longer the games would be? Oh my God.
And the problem is every catcher and every hitter thinks, oh, that wasn't a strike. So they're gonna be like, oh, well, I'm right. I'm like, I'm right. I'm like, yeah, every time. So I'm fine with that. We got a big decision. Yeah, Blue Jays have a big decision. Would you, Bo Bichette, who's been hurt for a while, is now saying he's ready to play. He's ready to go. Would you put him on the World Series roster?
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, I don't think you mess with the defensive at all. Defensively, they look good. You got to keep Jimenez in there. I would put Springer in right field.
Springer's knee doesn't handle. What I actually think will happen is I think Bichette will be added to the roster, but he won't play game one. But he will not start game one. I could see that happening, where you could bring him in a very key batting role, but you need to delay because George Springer, you could even tell when he was running.
Yeah,
he is not there.
Yeah.
But he's going to be in the lineup. The question is, how do you do it? Because the problem is you don't want to mess with the only thing is you're going to have to do is if you move Bichette to short, you're gonna take kind of Falefa out, which you could do. The problem is Bichette is not as good as Jimenez. So the question I might do is I actually might put Bichette at third, put Clement at second, and put Jimenez at short. So I had to give a little more protection to Bichette with Jimenez there. I could see that happening, and putting Barger in the outfield and sitting kind of Falefa. But I see a lot of rotation in this lineup. I see a lot of movement, and I do see them dropping. I think are you allowed to add to the roster? I don't think you can. But I see them dropping a pitcher like Little, leaving the pitching where it is because they'll have Bassett as the extra reliever there, and they could they'll bring in Bichette. I don't see, but they can't get rid of Straw. They can't get rid of Schneider. Santander's already out. Or what they will do, they could leave the pitching themselves. All they can do is switch out Loperfido for Bichette. They could do that. But I don't know. I could see a lot of things happening. Santander, I think, is done.
Oh, yeah.
But no, Bichette will be there 1,000%. They can't not have him on the roster because you can even see him like in that Kirk Gibson moment. You need him there because even when he missed 20 games this season, he still led the team in RBIs. The guy is overall 4 pitches. He is the most contact best. Vladdy's Vladdy. The contact from A to Z, the best hitter. Also, the reason why they need him in the lineup at the beginning, which I could see, if I were them in my starting lineup would be it's Snell, right? So I'd have Lucas, Barger, and Varshall in the outfield. I'd have Bichette at third. I'd have Clement at second. I'd have Jimenez, Kirk, and Guerrero. And the reason why you need Bichette is the number one thing that was missing in that lineup was the protector for Guerrero. Kirk is not hitting the same. So you need Bichette back. Everyone they've tried, from Kirk to Barger to Varshall to everybody, it doesn't work. You need Bichette's bat in the playoffs because when you look at the Dodger lineup, and you're going to see Freeman, Betts, Ohtani, Muncy, TK, like you're not Oscar. Like think about this: when you look up the lineup and you see Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez. Like, you don't have that. Lucas is good to get on base, but he's been struggling. You need Bichette's bat there. You 100% need Bichette's bat there. Even though the bottom of the lineup has been phenomenal, and that's what won them the game, Jimenez and Barger doing what they did in the bottom of the lineup, Bichette has to be there. as much as they've been playing, they do not win this World Series without Bo Bichette's bat in the cleanup hole. They don't win. They just don't win.
That Dodgers lineup, you start off with Ohtani to Betts to Freeman to Teoscar to Paganis, who's been phenomenal this year, to Will Smith, who's unbelievable, Kike Hernandez, we all know what he does in the playoffs, Max Muncy. Edmonds probably the only question mark from, but there's not a single question mark on that in that lineup. But yeah, I'm with you. I think you need that bat in the lineup, especially going up Snell. I think I think they got to do what the Brewers needed to do, which is
wait. You need to kill them. I don't care if they strike out. You have to be so patient at the plate. You have to get them out. You have to get them out.
There's two guys in the Dodgers bullpen, and that's Roki Sasaki and that's Alex Vesia.
Oh yeah, you don't trust Trinan, eh?
And Dave Roberts will throw Trinan in for some reason, and he almost blew was a game 2. So I mean, but those are the only two guys. So you gotta work the count and get pitches. That's obviously the Dodgers are, I don't know that heavy betting favorites right now, but
doesn't matter. Honestly,
it's in Toronto. They've got home. I mean, I
have to split. They have to split.
I like the 2-3-2 format. I know a lot of people don't. I do like it. I'd rather have. If I can do my job, which that is I win at home. I'm setting up. Yes, I'm setting up for winning at home. All I got to do is win at home. That's why you won the AL. And yes, the Brewers and the Phillies, lost, but that's why you have home field advantage, is to end the World Series, do your job, and win at home. That's all they really need to do. Let me see. I'm trying to look what the odds are right now.
I think it's like plus 275. It's like plus 75 minus 180, if not that. I think I saw. You go something like that. I wanted to ask you something. What did you think about the whole concept of the Dodgers thinking that they're ruining baseball, and Dave Roberts actually had the audacity to stand up there and say, 4 more so we can ruin baseball? What do you think of that mentality coming from Dave Roberts? To even acknowledge that.
I wouldn't. I don't know. Acknowledging it is a whole different story. Why even? I was like, why even say anything? I saw it and didn't realize. I was like, why would you acknowledge that? It's just be like, yeah, okay, man. Next question. Why would you acknowledge that or make that statement? That's all I got to say. I was like, if you're Dave Roberts, you got to be smart enough not even to say anything, because if they win this year and could win next year and will be betting favorites again, they're going to go to a lot. They're probably already going to a lockout. I've said it here, but they're gonna you can guarantee it. Now, I mean, I get it. My thing is other teams can spend. Now, I know being from a casual baseball fan, from being like a guy with me who worked in scouting and coaching, nobody brings up what the Dodgers were and how they got this good. Yes, it was Ohtani deferring, $680 million. That helps, but the reason they've got some of these players is because of their farm system so good. I mean, Ohtani didn't kick off this Dodgers thing. It was Mookie Betts, and they traded from their farm system. The reason they got Manny Machado and Max Scherzer those years is because they have such a strong farm system. My other thing is, and I teams in general, and I know was it JP who's from the Back It Up Binge podcast, who's I think he's a Dolphins fan, but he's an Orioles guy. He always talks about it. I'm like, you don't realize these teams fall in love with prospects and won't trade it. I've seen it with the Yankees or Miguel Andujar for Garrett Cole when he was with the Pirates, or they held on to Oswald Peraza. I mean, these teams do so much research on these prospects and put in so much time, they fall in love with them. Now, I get it. The Dodgers have done that too, like with Dalton Rushing, who's probably good enough to play in the MLB, just doesn't have a place. So, but they have definitely traded from their strength, which is their good scouting department and their farm system. Now it helps that Ohtani took so much money off because, can you imagine what their payroll was if Ohtani decided to take the full $700 million? It'd be 60, add 60 a year. But other teams could have signed Blake Snell. He was a free agent for a while and signed 2 weeks left in spring training. It didn't work out. Other teams, because people are complaining, other teams could have signed Tanner Scott, and the Dodgers signed him late. Now it didn't work out, but you can spend the money now. I think we got to give their scouting department and their development credit, because Shohei Ohtani and didn't start off this Dodgers. They started out when Mookie Betts came. That changed this whole Dodgers organization and their mindset, and they did that from trading. And because you had these young players who were up with the Bellingers, now you got Paganis who are making next to nothing.
Yeah.
But who do you want to see game one? I know I've seen some hypotheticals with Yusevich or Gosman. Would you rather?
It'll be Gosman. They're going to get back to their normal rotation. It's going to be Gosman versus Snell. It's going to be Yamamoto versus Yusevich. It's going to be. I could actually see Scherzer in Game 3 to give an extra day to Bieber, and then flipping Bieber to 4, and then you'll obviously have Glasnow, and you'll have who's their fourth?
Glasnow, Ohtani.
Oh, Ohtani will be 4. Yeah. So no, I forgot about Ohtani for a second. Holy crap! But no, I could see it happening that way. But no, I'm actually happy I'm okay with the rotation. It's just I can see honestly, I'm not afraid of the rotation. I'm not afraid of their pitching. The pitching's been great, but they haven't faced a team like the Jays yet. The Jays are a patient ball club. They know what they have to do, and they know the backs are against the wall. The backs are against the wall all playoffs. Even when they won the division, people thought they were going to lose to the Yankees. People thought they were going to lose to the Mariners. No one believes in this team.
No.
So for me, they have something. I'll be honest with you, as a leadoff hitter, right now heading into the playoffs, I'd be more afraid of George. If you look at the stats of the playoffs so far, in the key moments, Shohei Ohtani before Game 4, throughout the playoffs, hitting wise, he's not been good overall. He's had 4 or 5 hits the entire playoffs. He's batting 200. George, if I said in a playoff game right now, the way he's hitting, the way he's been playing in his history in the playoffs, if you need someone to lead off a game to get you that first hit, Springer's better than Ohtani. Not as a skill set. Ohtani's a phenomenally better athlete than him. But in the playoff moment leading off, Springer is more reliable on the leadoff spot right now than Shohei Ohtani.
Ohtani's that's the one thing people
don't. They're going to kill him. Gosman is going to.
You need to just give him all the junk. But that's you heard about Aaron Judge. Oh, he's so bad in the playoffs. Look what he did last year. I'm like, he's got to redeem himself. I'm like, go look at Ohtani last year and look at Ohtani this year. He did not have a good offensive playoff last year. He was terrible in that World Series.
Yeah.
Look at him this year. Yes, he's had some massive home runs, but I know you're with me on this. I would take a base hit. Give me a stand-up double.
Didn't he have a 40-40 season? Where's the little hits over to get on base?
He had a 50-50 season.
Yeah, 50-50. I'll take that.
But and you didn't see Ohtani steal too many bases this year.
No.
It could be because he popped his shoulder out in the World Series, but still, that's what makes him so great. But I'm like, just get on base. If you give me a single, great. You give me a double, I'm golden, because then I got 2, 3, 4 coming up with the man on second and no outs. I should be able to score 2.
Yeah.
But it should be. I was wrong about the Dodgers Brewers. I thought it'd be a lot better. I was very disappointed in the Brewers.
Oh my God!
And we spoke about it. It definitely looked like they changed the way they played. They went up against Goliath, and they got a little timid. But I don't think this is going to be a walkthrough. I'm 6-7 game series, and that's what I want. Just being a spectator, I'm like, not even. I'm like, just give me 6 cuts because there's nothing like watching baseball in October. You sit there, I feel like a kid again. I'm ready to go. Now if it's the only thing better is it's November and Derek Jeter, Mr. November, which didn't end well, but we had Mr. November for a little bit. But they've got to work these starters out. You can't let Snell get, because the one thing, Snell, when he gets comfortable, he gets going. And that changeup and those off-speed pitches, he'll work from that. They've got to work pitches. That is the Blue Jays' goal. I don't think there's much holes on the Dodgers. Blue Jays' goal is get to the bullpen. That we did not see enough of the bullpen in that Brewer series, which we did see the bullpen in the Philly series, and it wasn't all that great. And if I think it's Oriskin or whatever it is, if he makes the right play, they could end up losing that series.
Oh, it's a kicker.
So, I mean, that is you need to wear them down. But with that, easier said than done,
Of course, but they're going in with a chip on their shoulder. They've had a lot more time to decompose. They're going to be playing within 4 days. Tuesday when they're playing, they only get really 3 full days off. The Jays and the Dodgers have been off for a week, and they have to travel across country.
And we spoke about it. I don't think that's a bad thing. A lot of times in baseball, you see the teams that are winning the World Series minus these last 2 years are teams that are hot at the end of the year. Wild card teams win because baseball is different than you're playing, you keep going. I don't want if I'm hitting good, if I'm Guerrero, I don't want to sit.
Yeah, I know exactly. By the way, the Dodgers have not faced adversity in the playoffs. The Jays have. The Jays have faced a lot of adversity in the playoffs. That builds character. And to give a perspective, I said this to you prior to the show, but it's important for people to know this stat. In the history of baseball, there have been 4 times, and this time will be the 5th, where a team from the LCS has swept the series while another team has gone to a Game 7. And for all previous 4 times, the team that had the 7-game series beat the team that swept the other series. So teams that have had longer playoffs and more difficult playoffs end up coming out on top versus a team that's just sitting there twiddling their thumbs. So, and count the Jays out. If you count the Jays out, that's when they're going to punch you in the mouth.
Yeah. No one picked the Jays to win the AL East. No one would have expected this. People
plus 6,000. Plus 6,000.
I wish I put some money on that.
Okay, you know what the Dodgers were? Plus 275. They were plus 6,000. I wish I would have put $100 down. Oh my God.
But nobody said this. People were counting out the Jays the last week that all they got to do is lose 1 game. The Yankees the Yankees did their job and they won 6 in a row. And all they had to do was lose 1 game after that Red Sox series, and they were done. They did their job. The Jays were very high, stumbled. If you're really looking at it, the Jays should have won that division by 5 or 6 games. They didn't do their job, but at the end of the year, they did their job. They won the game. So they've been playing, going in hot baseball and definitely facing adversity going in because they fucked up and let the Yankees get back into it. So they knew they had to play with a little light under their ass and go to keep that division lead because of getting home field. And that's big because now you're going to have home field. I know I'm a West Coast guy, but and I don't know if the dome's going to be open game 1 and 2, and I probably don't think it will be. But there is something different when you're playing October baseball and it is cold. I love it.
Yeah. By the way, just to give you a perspective, so far these playoffs, the Jays have 1, 2, 3, 3 batters hitting over 300. The Dodgers only have one in Kike Hernandez. All their stars are not hitting great.
Yeah.
The team, they have the best athlete in Shohei Ohtani, but they don't have Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who is literally batting out of his mind, 442, OPS of 1440, and the guy's playing phenomenal defensively, motivating his team, a leader. There's the team. Okay, it looks like you're basically playing. It's the million. It literally feels like it's David versus Goliath. It's Drago versus Rocky. It's like it has that sense, and that's what the Jays want. Honestly, it feels like U.S. versus Canada, and it's like, okay, we'll take it. The difference is that if the Dodgers lose, it'll be a disappointing season. If the Jays lose, what an amazing season they already had. There's a very big difference. The Dodgers are expected to win. The Jays are not. And if you look back at when they won against when they beat the Braves and they beat the Phillies, they weren't expected to win either one. Their lineups were amazing, but they still weren't expected to win. They always, especially against the Braves that first year, 92. 93, the lineup was phenomenal, but this is a bunch of boys. This is the reaction to this team has been phenomenal. Like how can you not want to cheer for the bunch of guys? Because a lot of these guys are guys you wouldn't think of. And Davis Schneider and Ernie Clement and Nathan Lucas and Addison Barger and Darton Valshaw and Jimenez and Connor Falefa, Kirk. They look like none of them look like a Shohei Ohtani. Like the games are all Francisco. I just want to let you know every game, because of Fox requirements, it will just be at just past 8:00 Eastern time. All 7 games of the series, all will be at 8:00.
Which I don't know. LA, I'm hoping that they might have the
sun
with a shadow.
Better than three though.
Yeah, 100%.
But I must tell you, the playoffs so far for me in the American League has been way better than the National League. There's no real stories in the National League. There was those moments with the Cubs a little bit, with the Padres a little bit, and there was moments with the Brewers, but it's not been very entertaining in the American League, whether it was the Yankee series, whether it was the Tigers versus the Mariners, whether it was every series had its drama. But I must tell you, it's not even close. The American League has been a way better playoff series than the National League. National League has not been entertaining in any way, shape,
I mean, if you go in the wild card round, Yankees Red Sox was phenomenal. Those games, 3 games. Yankees Jays wasn't as good, but I mean, you had the Dramatics game 3.
It's the rivalry. It's the fact that they're in the same division.
I mean, Tigers Mariners going 5. What happened to the Mets? They have no pitching,
except their closer.
I mean. Yeah. That's it. Nobody brings up they did the Mets made the splash move of Ohtani, but look at the pitching staff. You're relying on Sean Manaea, who's a good pitcher, but he's not an ace. And Frankie Montas, who who's probably a good 4 or 5 guys. You're 1-2. They get hurt at the end of the year. You had Jonah Tong, Noah McLean, and Brandon Sprout as your top. These are guys that were.
And the Blue Jays.
They were in the minors to start the year, and don't get me wrong, they were phenomenal. Like they were very, very good, but like still, guys who were in the minors to start the year to be like your 1, 2, 3. You put Clay Holmes, who was one of your starters. Yeah. Don't get me. I hate Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes drives me nuts.
Yeah. Take a moment for me to talk about Trey Savage for a second. To go into Game 6, 22 years old, your 6th start, and to do that. Like, tell me the skill to be able to pull that off. Like, is it just like the fact that he doesn't know any better? And his stuff is filthy. I mean, his knuckle change, his stuff is filthy.
I think Savage probably, not knowing better, but he's playing with house money. Nobody's expecting anything from this guy who's made, 4 starts in the regular season and 4 in the playoffs. There's no expectation for Yasevich. But I mean, that's the thing. And I if you look back at his, I didn't expect Yasevich. I won't say I expected Yasevich to be like this, but he was great in college too. He was a great college pitcher who got passed up by a number of teams because of a physical or something like that. That fell in the Blue Jay. And I remember I was watching. I was like, he's gonna fall. He fall, and he just fell in the Blue Jays' lap. I'm like, someone's gonna get a steal here. And
single A ball to the majors in 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, it was to go through every level this year. So I think he's. I mean, I think he's a very good pitcher. It's huge. And I did like they were talking about the difference between Logan Gilbert and Yasevich, 2 different type of pitchers, where Gilbert is a long strider and the way he pitches is from his stride, and Yasevich is a shorter strider and tries to use his length. But I mean, it's house money. I don't think there's no expectations for him. If he has a bad game, he's a rookie. If he has a great game, he's a rookie, and you're like, holy crap. And I will say this year, we've seen some from Cam Schlittler game 3 against the Red Sox to now Yasevich with the Blue Jays. Obviously, he's had more opportunities. We've seen some guys who've come up and had some very meaningful playoff wins, and Yasevich being the biggest out of all of them because it was a winner. You had to win to survive.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about the mistake of Game 5. What do you think prompted them in the 8th inning to bring in Brandon Little, who had a 6.08 ERA, to turn these guys around instead of bringing in Hoffman, who played great the night before, or bring in Anthony and then have Hoffman to close when you have the lead? You can go back to Toronto with a 3-2 series lead, and then for Wilson, take out Chu in that moment, a veteran starter who's been great for you, to bring in their rookie. So, what were your thoughts on those decisions by managers?
In the Game 5, I think, and we spoke, it's analytics. I'm going to play the matchup. And I brought up, I was talking when I had Jabba Chamberlain on, I'm like, yeah, analytics are great. You play with, I get it. That's part of the game now. But when it comes to October, you just got to play with your gut. I'm going with my hot guys. These guys have got me to this point. I'm going with my hot guys. So that drives me nuts. It drove me nuts last year when they brought in Nestor Cortez.
Oh my God! When they brought him in that home run, I go like, what are they thinking?
Well, it's also I went nuts when Dave Roberts.
Where is Nestor now? Is he done?
He was with the Brewers.
I haven't seen him.
He didn't make the roster. I think he was hurt. But I remember listening to Dave Roberts, and he's like, I get it. You go with your best pitcher. I'm like, yes. He was a better pitcher than he was. He had better stuff than Tim Hill, probably. But Tim Hill is a bullpen pitcher. He pitches in those situations. Starters come in with a clean inning, just like we saw with Brian Wu. He came in on a clean inning and looked great. I feel bad for Wu because Wu a month and a half down, and then you throw him into that situation. Wu was phenomenal, but then leaves one pitch enough up, and you're facing George Springer, who's just Mr. Clutch. But it's the analytics. I mean, October analytics, you got to go out the window. The matchups, come on. I'm going with my hot pitchers: Sir Anthony Dominguez, Jeff Hoffman, Flu Hardy. They've got me there. And then you throw Bassett in there, who looked phenomenal Game 7. End of the game. I mean, if he's going to come in and give you, if he can, because he could be a long reliever. If he can give you
if Bieber didn't have his stuff, and you bring him in, I honestly think next time you don't bring in Varland, you bring in Bassett and let him go a couple innings. Varland, in the 11 playoff games, he's been in 10 of them. He needs a break.
I've seen him a lot. I didn't know all that, but I've seen Varland.
10 of 11 playoff games he's pitched in.
And 7-game series, you can't be doing that all the time. But I would be throwing Bassett because he can give you Start him with the clean inning. He can give you 2 good 3 innings.
Easy. What did you think of Dan Wilson's decision?
Of putting it in
True. Putting in Chu, but if you're going to bring in someone in that moment, why don't you bring in Suarez?
That's where I was yelling at the TV. I was fine with Wu because he came in with a fresh inning. And I get it. George Springer's a hell of a hitter. And he's proven it all playoffs. What is he batting right now?
Just under 300.
Okay, but he had the biggest hit. But, I mean, he's a great hitter. I was fine with that. But I was yelling at the TV. I'm like, you've got the best bullpen arm in baseball with Munoz.
Munoz, not Suarez.
Munoz, in baseball, was the best closer in baseball. If you lose, there's no baseball, on the next day. So ride or die with your guys. I mean, I was like, why are you putting in this? Why don't you just bring Munoz? You're telling me he can't give you 2 innings? He couldn't give you 2 because if you lose, you're not. He's got a full. He's not playing till February. So what's the point? You win. He's got 3 days off.
We brought in. Think about this. They pitched. They did the right thing in Game 7, Schneider. He brought in Bieber, didn't look right. Brought in Varland, brought in Sir Anthony in the 6th inning. Then brought in Bassett. Then he brought in Gosman. Then he brought in Bassett. Then he brought in Hoffman. Like he brought in his best pitchers that he trusts to get those guys out. That's it.
Yeah.
He would have put Scherzer in. He would have put anybody in.
Everybody's on the table there. Yeah. Everybody's on.
He didn't. He waited way too long. He thought about the analytics again. Who's this best guy? Don't bring in a rookie. You have to bring guys who have been pitching phenomenally well. It's unbelievable. By the way, if I were them, I was surprised they started Kirby. I thought they would have started Wu.
I was surprised. I mean, Wu's been one of the better pitchers in baseball all year.
Yeah.
I get it. He's been down.
I got he hits. Or you know who I would have brought in those games? Why don't you try Castillo?
Yeah, that was the other. I mean, I would not a fresh inning, I guess.
But that's experience of Schneider being there before and Wilson never being there. That's the difference.
I've seen it with Dave Roberts a lot before him. Before the Dodgers really got good, he played a lot of analytics. He played the matchups, and it's definitely different now because you have to face 3 batters. But he played a lot of matchups, and Dave Roberts kind of had to take a step back. You see it with Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
By
the way, Cal Raleigh did not have – he hit his home runs, but he was not very good.
No.
If it wasn't for – and Polanco had a great ALDS, but what's his name? Naylor, the Toronto boy, he was phenomenal with that.
Yeah.
Except, what did you think of that play, which I can't believe it took him so long to figure out, where he did the little double axle?
Oh, him jumping.
He turned and blocked.
He turned and jumped.
Yeah. What did you think of that? Did you know right away that should have been interference?
At first, I was like, I think, but I don't know. And then I saw the replay. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's interference. Yeah. So he turned and then jumped in the air. I'm like, definitely. At first, I'm like, was he? I mean, because if
aren't you supposed to get out of the way?
I think you're sliding. You get down.
He got up,
but in that situation, get down or get out of the way. Yeah. But and that's when you see a lot of guys go like this, and they get down and throw their hands up and try to knock it, which is illegal too. But at first, I was like, maybe, and then when I saw the replay, I'm like, why are we taking so long? This is interference. I guess he was doing whatever it was. He took a nice ball almost in the neck there, right off the shoulder. So he was just trying to do whatever he could. But that was also a big a big shifter for the Blues, because that could have easily been a 2-run, 3-run inning. And then you get the ground ball and you get the Clement double play that kept it at 1-0. So I mean, first up, what do you think of those cleats he was wearing? I know on a
Naylor. He's interesting, but that was amazing. But you also see his belt. He had the Canadian belt. Like he's a character. You look at his piercings, his hair. He's a bit of a diva. He's a bit of a diva for a big boy.
Well, definitely be playing in March.
But by the way, small ball in Game 6, the amount in 3 consecutive innings with Yasevich to get those double plays after he got the lead man on was phenomenal. Like to get out of innings in 3 consecutive double plays, there's something that motivates your team more than you get someone on base and you end your inning with leaving that guy on base. It's like
getting that inning with the roll ball or a nice, Yasevich who's balls of steel right now for this guy who's gone through 3 levels of minor league baseball. That where he is the number 2 pitcher in the staff. Definitely balls of steel for a guy he's been there, done that. And if I speak about college, he went to Eastern Carolina, which if you know anything about it, it's not. Everybody talks college football. They're not very good at college football. They're great at college baseball. They make the regionals, super regionals all the time. So he's been there, done that. It's obviously not on the level of this. This is a bigger level because it's a national stage. Everybody's going to be watching, but he's been in those situations. But for a guy who went from single A to double A to triple A, now he's front and center, right behind Gosman. Had to pitch Game 6 to make sure there's baseball the next day and do his job. What did Savage actually? Did he go 6?
5 2/3.
5 2/3. That gets.
He always does that. And the moment every time that's the rule on any pitcher. If you're in the 6th inning and you can't get that last out, you get a runner on with 2 outs, you're out of the game. They don't ever let you finish the inning. It's so frustrating.
But
he did his job. But for the Dodgers, there's something about them. I don't find them. They're a great team and all, but I don't like the arrogance of the swagger of what they're doing. Like they're getting time. They've gotten big hits and home runs, but outside of Kiki Hernandez, they're relying on the long ball, similar to what the Mariners are, than actually moving guys over and winning that way. And that plays the Jays' strength.
It was definitely pitching and home runs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The guy, my favorite player, couple of favorite players on the Dodgers is not Shohei Ohtani. I love Mookie Betts. I like Will Smith, and I like Freddie Freeman. And those aren't. Will Smith had a phenomenal year. Mookie Betts he was a Red Sox, but the guy just plays the game the right way.
What do you think of him at short or in the second? Do you like him better there or you like him better in the outfield?
I like him better in the outfield.
Why did they move him to the infield?
Because they didn't have a better option. And then this year, he's been very good this year. He's been very good defensively to get a full year. But he's a Gold Glove right fielder. But it's just not another option. Freddie Freeman's a guy I love. He should still be in Atlanta if his agent does his job. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
It
could be another. Or if Guerrero didn't work out, he could have come back to Canada and been a J.
Yeah, he has Canadian. His mom's from Canada, correct? Yeah. So he could play.
He could play for either one.
Because I know
he has played for Canada before.
Yeah. He played last time for Canada, correct? Yeah. Because he went to high school right around in Orange County.
It's tough because we have now. If we ever have a baseball, we have Josh Naylor too at first base. We have quite a good. Canadian baseball is growing. Canadian baseball talent in the major leagues has gotten pretty good.
Yeah, 100%. There's some George Springer's got like 3 teams he can play for too. He can play for Puerto Rico. He can play for USA, and then there's like Chinese Taipei or something like
that. What was your prediction for the World Series? What was your expectation for the World Series before the playoffs started?
Phillies Brewers. I was way off.
Phillies Jays. I thought it was going to be a repeat of '93.
Okay.
What happened to the Phillies?
What happened to the Phillies?
Why do you think they crapped the bed against the Dodgers? They just weren't competitive.
I think that team is the Phillies, honestly, I think that team is. I really don't. I mean, I think their pitching is great, but I don't trust all their bats. Harper didn't get going.
Nope.
I mean, Castellanos is great, but he's a defensive liability. Bader gets hurt.
How do you not pinch run Castellanos when he's a
I don't even know. He looked like he had a 20-pound
trailer. Honestly, Bichette would have ran faster with his injury.
Springer was running faster after you took 95 off the knee.
Oh my God, that was so painful. Oh my God, I felt that.
So, I mean, he looked like he was pulling an 18-wheeler behind him. But I mean, he's a defensive liability. I think the problem with the Phillies is you never really had a key center fielder. Now, Harrison Bader did a phenomenal job, but he gets hurt. You're going on Brandon Marsh, who's not getting it done. JT Realmuto didn't have a great series offensively.
Yeah.
And Trey Turner's one of the worst defensive shortstops. Even though he had a great game 4, he's one of the worst defensive shortstops in baseball.
And he gets paid, doesn't get paid like it.
No, he gets paid.
By the way, if I look at the Dodgers and the Jays series, on defensively overall, the Jays are better. They're better at catcher. Their first is equal, but they both are good. I think Clement and Jimenez and Connor Falefa are better than Muncy, Edman, and Bishop. And on the outfield, they're way better. Between Lucas, Straw, and Marshall, the overall hitting from power and from starting pitching consistently, the Dodgers have it. But defensively and relief and relief, the Jays have it. So what wins in the playoffs?
Pitching and defense.
Pitching and defense. So it's like hit or miss, right? If the Jays can get to the starting pitchers, to Yamamoto and Snell, they're golden.
Yeah.
If they can get them out of the game in 5 or 6 innings, they're good.
I think it's a toss-up. I think Will Smith is great. Kirk is a little better. I wouldn't say
he's a little better. Right?
He's better.
But at first, it's tough because Guerrero's younger.
With Freeman and Guerrero.
Jimenez is way better. Jimenez
is the best defensive player on the field.
Yeah, he's so good. You see how I understand his hitting, but he was great in the series in Seattle. But he makes the idea playing shortstop or the infield looks and the pop up. He makes it look so goddamn easy. It looks like he's literally resting and sleep. No problem. He is so smooth.
If the ball is short, you just he's got this.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's why you pay him $20 million. And I remember I got a buddy who does
he's like Ozzie Smith in the infield. He's like Ozzie Smith.
He works for I think FanDuel, and he does short videos, stuff like that. He's one of those type of guys. And he was doing a video for a girl, and she was talking about Will Wagner, and he knows I know baseball, and she's like, you got to watch out for this guy. He's like, do you know him? I'm like, yeah, I know him. I'm like, is he good? I'm like, yeah, he's not going to play. He's like, why? I'm like, they got Andres Jimenez, who's the best defensive second baseman in baseball. And now, the best defensive shortstop in baseball. You feel easy when the ball's hit to short.
Oh my God! Any ball hit to Jimenez, it's phenomenal. And they don't win the play. They don't win the series without him even offensively. Those 2 key home runs.
And that bunt was his bunt, because that is one thing I yell at. Do hitters know
to give Springer? Springer just wanted to bring the guy in, but to move those 2 runners, that bunt was phenomenal.
I mean, to see guys, and they're
I love it.
They're just like this, and I'm like his butt. He's like, hey, I'm gonna bunt. I'm gonna get it down. I'm gonna put it there. I mean, that's how you bunt the baseball. Nobody teaches anymore. The amount of MLB players who don't know how to bunt the freaking ball anymore. Yeah. But I mean, you feel good. Clement is solid defensively too. We'll see what happens. Bichette, he's not great defensively, but we'll see what happens there. You just can't get the Dodgers going. I mean, you can't. honestly, as much as great Betts and Ohtani are at that top of the lineup, if Freddie Freeman gets going, which I want to, what is Freddie's stats? Freddie is that lifeblood of that. If Freddie Freeman gets going, that lineup gets going.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 2/3. It's really, like Ohtani. Yes, Ohtani. It gives you a little jolt, but he's hitting home runs. Freddie Freeman comes up. If he's swinging a good, he smacks a double. And then you're like, oh, I've got Hernandez, Paganis, Will Smith coming up with a man on second. You're going to you can get 2 runs. A home run, he comes up. Oh, home run, soil home run. You don't like it, but you take that damage over, in my opinion, being a baseball guy, getting a double. And then you're like, oh shit, I got 3, 4, 5, 6 with the man on second and 1 out with that lineup. And then, with Teoscar Hernandez, with this pop, the one thing I'll say I like about Teoscar Hernandez, minus, I think, left field, the Dodgers have really strong arms in the outfield and center and right with Hernandez and with Paganis. And I really don't even know if that's how you say it.
He's not that great of a catcher. He made some boneheaded errors this season. Not the best defensive outfielder.
No. Oh, he made some not great, but he has a cannon.
Yeah.
But definitely made some boneheaded errors. I actually don't know if that's how you say his last name. I could be messing up. Pagas.
Pagas, I think.
But I mean, he was a rookie who's been around that system for a long time, and it finally clicked this year for him. But we're definitely not seeing the same Edman like we saw last year. He's definitely a hole. That's the one hole in that Dodgers lineup is Edman.
Yeah.
And,
but they need him defensively, right?
You need him defensively. He was huge last year, and he was, he's defensively. You need him. I know. I question Kike every October. He's unbelievable. And then he finds to prove me wrong every time. I'm like, yeah, this won't happen, but he always finds a way to show up. But it's I think game 1 you just gotta. Game 1, the Jays, the Dodgers game plan is just do what they've been doing, pitching and hopefully you can get
that crowd in Toronto though. They're not going to be used to it. Like LA, they're slow moving in. At first pitch, the Jays are going to be.
It's going to be packed,
and it's also going to be closed because it's cool out, so they're going to close the roof. It is going to be loud in there.
Yeah,
it's going to be deafening for them. They're not going to experience that.
I mean, the Dodgers need Freeman to go. They need Betts to go. Betts was 293, Shohei 220, Hernandez 268 in the playoffs. I mean, it's been okay, but I mean, they need those.
Want them. If you're a big Yankee fan, people didn't want to, or were tired of the Yankees after a while, like in terms of their dominance. Like people are getting a little tired of the Dodgers. People want the Jays to win. There are more people who want the Jays to win than want the Dodgers to win.
I'm waiting for I've been looking. I'm looking on Twitter or X, whatever it's called nowadays, and everybody I'm rooting for the Dodgers, America. It's Canada. I can't. I'm like, I don't care. I'm rooting for the Jays. I don't care.
Hey, Dolphins thirsty are Red Sox fans cheering for the Jays. The evil empire. They're the new evil empire on the West Coast. And you're from LA and you hate the Dodgers.
Hate the Dodgers.
But I never asked you what creates your hate for them.
Never grew up liking the Dodgers, being a Yankees fan. Hate the fan base.
You find I don't think they're real fans.
I think they're passionate fans.
No, but I don't think they're. I think it's the thing to do in LA.
Oh yeah,
it's cool. Like the same way you go to a Laker game. The same way you're not going to go to a Kings game. So the same way football's a little harder, but the same way you go to a Laker game, celebrities and people like that, and people want to look popular. Let's go to a Dodger game.
I won't say everybody because I do have some Dodgers friends who are Dodgers, and they're live and die Dodgers, and they know baseball. and I've had one on the show. And
I have a Dodgers hat. Like, I don't like the Dodgers. I just got it for like free, but I just don't like I don't like the. I find Dave Roberts is arrogant. He's arrogant. I think Roberts is making them look worse than what they should be.
I brought it. My grandfather is a massive bit. He loved all sports, but baseball was his number one sport. Baseball. He would watch every single, didn't matter who was there. He was a Red Sox. He loved the Red Sox, but it didn't matter who was on. I'd walk in by the end of his life. He last 2 years he was living in the VA because he was a vet of World War II, Purple Heart recipient. I might add.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, he took some shrapnel. Honestly, I've spoke about this to my dad, my aunt, my family. He was in Okinawa. He took shrapnel to his arm. Okay. If he didn't take shrapnel, he wouldn't have come home. I would have never been alive. So I'd walk in on a Saturday at 1 o'clock because he lived in Ventura, California. Baseball was on. So my love of, but he's an East Coast. I mean, he's from Minnesota, but spent most of his life on the East Coast. Originally, was born in Minnesota and left when he was 18. My dad's an East Coaster, and East Coast baseball fans, they're smart baseball fans. My one thing with the Dodgers is I give the Dodgers credit. I give the Dodgers fans credit because if you watch a lot of big warm weather cities like we have in Miami, like you got in LA, there's a lot to do. And when the team's not winning, they don't show up. I'll give the Dodgers credit. The Dodgers, people would show up for the Dodgers when they're crap.
Not at the beginning of the game.
No, it's LA.
They're slow moving on them.
It's LA. The traffic's a whole nother story.
Well, what's the excuse in New York? I went to a Yankee game and literally lined up at 5:30, and I could have sworn there were 40,000 fans at 5:30. Right, Yankee fans, they were waiting for you to stay. They wait for the stadium to open.
But I give them credit. They support the Dodgers. I just don't think they're bright fans. I don't think they're smart baseball fans. And everything going on now, I'm getting sick of it.
Yeah,
I get it. Every Japanese-born player's got to go to. Where is the competitive? Every Japanese player goes to the Dodgers. I'm like, you don't want to go somewhere else. I'm like, I idolize Shohei.
What do you think it is? Why do you think they all want to go
closer to home, a bigger Asian market?
Toronto has a massive Asian market. Massive in Toronto. Come to Toronto.
Yeah.
I think we have someone. I think there's another guy coming. I think.
Who's my favorite? My favorite Toronto guy who just threw. Was it from that 2014? Was it Kawasaki or?
Yeah, I think like that. Yeah.
He's hilarious. I still see those.
Didn't I think there's another Japanese player who's coming to the Jays. I think who signed, didn't he? There's another guy coming. I forget who it was. The next Japanese player coming. Forget who it is though.
There's like 3 that got posted this year. It's supposed to be pretty solid. It's like Kawazuma, Mirataki. Yeah.
But by the way, I hear that it's quite. I would love to have an experience of going to a Japanese baseball game.
Oh my god, it's a whole other. I would love to that too.
I heard it's
my
amazing.
problem is the language barrier is so much different. Like I want to go. Like I want to go to like I'm gonna try to go to Miami or San Juan when they're down here. I don't speak enough Spanish to like have a conversation, but I've been around.
I have a translator. His name is Tammy.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I've been around Spanish my whole life. I know enough where I could like hang. Japanese is a whole nother world for me, But I still would, like you said, it would be some experience. I'm really hoping Miami, Dominican Republic versus Venezuela. Tickets haven't gone on sale. I've seen people have started like second price tickets, and they're not cheap. A little too much for me. But I'm trying to get down there. I'm going to get down there. I just don't know who. maybe I'll go when like Netherlands plays because they got good. That's good baseball too. I mean, all those guys from Curacao.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it's a whole other world from the MLB. But
Sure.
I know I was watching before the playoffs started. I was watching one of the former pitchers talk. I can't remember who he was talking. He was talking about playing in Toronto and having the dome closed, and he's like, it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
Because the sound is just reverberating around the whole place. And it's not like the Rays maybe ever could have that. They're going to have a dome, but they don't have that fan base. No. But it's just rap.
Yeah.
Rays finally got new ownership.
Yeah, that's true. But no, for me, the Jays, what they've accomplished, the way they rebuilt the stadium, the way they redesigned it, because they did a renovation the last 2 years. It's such a. I went there this year. It's a fun place to watch baseball. It's a fun place to watch baseball. I'm a passionate fan. And trust me, I don't anything outside of Toronto Blue Jays. Every other Toronto team I despise, like with an absolute fathom. You could not. One time I had to. I was invited to a Halloween or a party, like an ugly sweater party. Remember how ugly sweaters got popular? And there was a prize for $1,000 for a couple $100. I showed up in a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey in a Montreal party. I won. That jersey to me makes me sick. So, but anything. By the way, I'm nothing baseball related. Do you want to talk about something hilarious? The most hilarious one I heard today. Talking about, you said he rips you with Tua. You know, Tua had a comment today in his press conference that said the reason he didn't target Jalen Waddle to the game is because he couldn't really see him because the O-line and D-linemen were too tall. Wow, you're a quarterback in the NFL. So let's go back. This series, for me, is going to be very competitive. It's going to be very nerve-wracking. And, the Jays, if the Jays split the series at home, if they win 2-0, they're in great shape. They're in the driver's seat. They split, that's still even better.
Yeah.
They split, they're going to come back.
We were texting Game 7. You said, Vlad's wearing a...
Oh, my God. When it was 3-1, I was over. When Raleigh hit the home run off Ireland, I go, I'm done.
But one of my favorite shows right now is Canadian-based, and it's Shorzy.
Okay.
Do they call them sweaters or jerseys?
Hockey sweaters.
They're hockey sweaters.
Yeah.
I do love that show. The humor, and I'm like, it's.
No, Canadians are different dialect. We speak a different dialect. Different kind of English, eh?
What is it? I remember because I played with a bunch of Canadians, and we'd go to the bar and be like, "Hey, sick wheels, bro."
Yeah. We use different. We talk differently here. It's a different language. I
was like, what? They're like, yeah, wheels. I'm like,
if you had a prediction for this series, what is it?
I hate predictions, Evan. I hate predictions.
If you have to leave, wait, don't prediction that. Do the Jays have a good chance to overtake these Dodgers, or the Dodgers just in your mind, in your gut, just too strong for the Jays to?
I think they can. I think that I mean you're. Yeah, if the Dodgers are pitching the way they are, there's no one beating that team.
1.98 ERA.
If those starters are pitching the way, there's no way they're beating the team. I get it. You're giving up a run plus a game. That's not me saying anything that's breaking news. But am I counting the Jays out? No. I'm an old school guy. I like the way they play. Vlad Guerrero, yes, is a name. People know him because he's a great player and is who his father was. But there's no superstar on that team. They play good, smart baseball. I will say the Dodgers from last year to this year, their defense has gone down. It's not as strong as they were defensively. That was the reason they won the World Series last year. Game 1, Tommy Edman probably saved that team like 5 runs. They're not as strong defensively. That is the Dodgers on paper are probably winning every metric on paper, from offense to pitching. But defensively, the Jays have that edge big time, where you see Vladimir Guerrero, who was not that great of a third baseman, but he is nails at first base. The amount of
Nothing gets past starting Marshall. Nothing.
No, I mean, Guerrero is just the plays he makes, and he's great at first base. Varsho, that ball's in the air, you feel comfortable. Your right and left fielder know that you've got a little room to move because he can cover a big area. If Kirk, that I think the X factor for the Jays is they need Kirk to get going offensively. Definitely need his bat to get going, which was luckily for the Jays, they had Ernie Clement and Jimenez have an unbelievable ALCS from that 8-9 hole that got that team going. Yeah. But the amount of times I saw Kirk strike out, I'm like, just, he needs to get going. Now, if Bichette's in the lineup and he's the Bichette we saw all year, that's a whole different story that just lengthens it, where you maybe take out kind of Falefa, who is very good defensive second baseman, but his bat is not as good. It was definitely so. I'm really looking what that will be, tomorrow if he makes the roster, which I think he will, and what the lineup will be on Friday. Yeah. But I mean, I won't count out the Jays at all. I think this Dodgers team has holes. I think, yes, they can lightning quick score with the home run, lightning quick. But if the home run's not there, that's a problem.
I personally was more fearful in this series. If someone told me right now, the Jays, would you like to face the Dodgers or would you like to face the Brewers? I'd rather face the Dodgers. The Brewers gave the Jays fits when they came to visit. That because they do what the Jays do. They didn't do it in the playoffs, but they did what the Jays do, and they were doing it better throughout the course of the season. That's why they had the best record in baseball. So no, I'd rather face the Dodgers than face would have wanted to face the Brewers.
I think, and I know I've talked to my Dodgers friends. They like there's no lefty starter, but a lot of off-speed pitches, and that's where Gausman and Yusevich have strength. Gosman's fastball is not very intimidating, but his off-speed stuff drops off the table. You got to get those guys going. I mean, if you're pitching like the way they pitch, I'm like, we'll have back-to-back. But
the Jays aren't going to allow it. Every time, that's the one thing about this series. I don't care if the Jays proven they can come back.
But I think, and we spoke, I think the Jays like this situation. Yeah. They like they were counted out to win the AL East. They were counted out to win at the end of the year, and they counted out to lose to the Yankees in the ALDS. And then
every chance they chance to lose this series. Go from 2-0 to 3-2.
Yeah, 3-1. I mean, and no one's you win. You lose. You take 2 in Seattle to flip it back to home field, but you win the last 2. So I mean, I think they like, in my opinion, I think the Jays like they're counted out here. They're not the betting favorite. Heavy betting favorites. I think they like being the underdog. It's a scrappy team. It's a scrappy team. The Dodgers, yes, flashy guys. And please, I don't want to see – I'm begging ownership of the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. I don't want to see Kendrick Lamar or Drake walk out from center field before the game and start singing.
No way. Not about them. Not about them.
No, but everybody's like, oh, I want to see this, the beef. I'm like, first off, I don't want to see Drake anywhere near. You sit home. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. That's tough. You could have some days in a couple years. They got some good young players.
Oh, I love the A's.
A's got some good young players. Jacob Wilson, Nick Kurtz.
They had Ernie Clement. Did they have Ernie Clement?
They did have Ernie Clement too. But the A's got some good young players. It's probably not going to be the next couple years because they're playing in Sacramento, but they're leading up to Yeah,
You had the best farm system. The trade guy, that was me. That was me with the Expos for all those years. We were a farm system for the rest of the league.
100%. I don't think it'll be in the next couple of years. I think they're trying to lead up the A's for Las Vegas. Did you see we did have some managers get hired? We got Tony Vitello, who's the manager at University of Tennessee.
Yeah, where was he hired?
He got hired with the Giants.
And then Kurt Suzuki
with the
Angels. I remember him a little bit.
He was with the A's too for a while.
Yeah.
But I was surprised about Suzuki. I thought they would have gone. I know they had Torrey Hunter, who wanted the job, and then
also Albert Pujols.
Yeah, Pujols was in the running too. But I mean, I don't know I didn't do a deep dive into their process. But Tony Vitello at University of Tennessee definitely turned that program into a national powerhouse. It'll be an interesting hire because he doesn't have any pro ball, coaching experience.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what Buster Posey wants, that fresh slate. These are his guys.
Yeah.
But we still have a lot of.
He made to the World Series, 2004 National Championship, 3 College World Series.
Yeah, Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah.
Justin Turner was on that team too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll see what the Giants can do. They're in a tough division.
Very tough division.
Yeah.
We'll see. We do have a lot of manager openings.
Oh my God, the turnover is insane.
Minnesota.
I was convinced the Jays were not going to. Hey, I would have said this: if the Jays lost the series in 6, Snyder would have been fired because people would have called for his head.
You did tell me that, yeah.
You would have called him for his head, using analytics over going with your gut. For a 24-year guy, he's a 24-year lifer of this team, from playing in the minors to being throughout the farm systems as a coach, all the different things leading up to getting up to the Jays 5-6 years ago, bench coach, now manager. Like, come on. But he loves this team.
He loves the Blue Jays. So
but I'm less nervous about this because I think the Jays are playing with house money.
Do you know what the fun stat is though right now for this?
Yeah.
For the first time in his career, Don Mattingly is going to the World Series.
World Series. How crazy! How are you happy for him?
I'm happy for Johnny Baseball, dude. 3,000.
He got a bad rap. He got a bad rap as a manager.
I mean,
why do you think he got such a bad rap after managing in LA and managing in Miami?
I have no clue. I mean, I think anybody gets a bad rap going to Marlins, and then to go from Torrey to Mattingly didn't work out. But yeah. I mean, I'm happy for Donnie Baseball. Unbelievable career, and now he finally gets there. He's one of your bench coaches. Yeah. That's great. I mean, it probably gives me another reason to root for the Jays. You got Don Mattingly. So
there you go.
I want to see him get a ring, even if it's not with the Yankees. I think he deserves it from a guy who had such a great career and definitely had a couple bad stops as a manager. But I mean, the Dodgers weren't the Dodgers when he was there.
No.
And it's the Marlins, who could be a good team. I was very surprised. I
they kept Sandy all these years. Sandy's a very good pitcher.
Yeah, but I know people were. I liked some of those young players, but I didn't see them pushing for a playoff spot. I mean, if that front office the actually spends a little money, they could actually be good. And if you look, Miami, the Marlins, which probably should go back to Florida and go back to the original logo, but that won't happen. That's just my opinion. They have they've got 2 World Series.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, I can't cheer for the Marlins in any way, shape, or form. They're the only Miami team I'll never support, just because of the association to this.
With the Expos.
Because of Loria.
Oh, because of what happened, yeah.
Loria basically was promised by State League a baseball team, and they basically let him dump the Expos for the Marlins. And then after investing $75 million into the Expos, he gets $1 billion for selling the Marlins. Like, are you crazy? Like, it was the biggest crook I've ever seen.
Well, I don't even know.
David Sampson is one of the
I get
biggest
it's a
buffoons.
bigger market, but go look at fan bases. Montreal was selling out. It's a bigger market. Yes, I get it. Bigger market, but I'm like,
No one goes to Marlins games. Nobody. Empty the stadium all the time. The support for I know there's a lot to do. Doesn't matter.
you won't
care
wear
about
a
your team, you
Nationals.
throw.
We don't see you sporting the Nationals, which are technically the
Vomit. Never, ever going to happen, ever. I would burn a Nationals hat. I converted to Toronto. People thought I was crazy. My boss actually converted from Expos to Nationals. I can't cheer. So,
I mean, the Toronto makes sense.
Yeah, but the problem is because you're the people who say, "Why? How can you cheer for Toronto when they voted for contraction?" I go, everyone voted for contraction. The Expo, the people, the Bud Selig was the reason why the Expos are no longer here, not because of people voting for contraction. That's owners; those aren't players.
Selig or Rob Manfred? Who do you prefer?
Manfred.
I think they both suck, but
I know, but yeah, one or the other. Who do you like better, Goodell or Tagliabue?
Tagliabue.
They're both bad.
They're both terrible.
Oh, in hockey, we've had the same freaking commissioner forever. David Stern or Adam Silver. Like, every commissioner is bad because all they care about is the owners and what they can put in their pocket. That's all. They're not looking out for the fans.
Tagliabue was horrendous, but I don't.
That's my point. They're all bad.
But Goodell makes him look like he's good.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think this is in my opinion, it's going to be a great series.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's going to be the difference of baseball philosophies where you're going to have a smaller not a smaller market, but definitely smaller in LA, but different baseball. One plays newer baseball, power. They're going to live by that, where the Jays will have
They're not laying down bunts.
No bunts, are going to play smaller baseball. Get them on, get them over, get them in.
Exactly.
But I think it's going to be a great series. I live for October baseball, even though the Yankees aren't playing. I live for it. I'll watch it.
Sorry.
I know it's all, this is what I'll say. I'm this with my Jets. I'm a realistic sports fan. I know people say I talk a lot. I know I got Dodgers friends. They say never shut up. I said, yeah, it's fine. But when I have a negative, I'll probably negatively, and I know you because I've heard you with the Dolphins. I'll negatively attack my team more than I'll start attacking other teams.
Yeah.
And I know you because I hear you on the Dolphins. You negatively attack the Dolphins. I'm like, I see the negative in the Yankees. I'm like, they weren't a good hitting team.
On defensively, I was at a game.
Defensively, they had
literally.
You had Bellinger and you had Ryan McMahon, but Ryan McMahon can't hit.
Volpe can't play.
Volpe,
can't play. Grisham can't play. Goldschmidt can't play. Ben Rice can't play. Austin Wells can't play defensively. They're all bad.
I mean, Goldschmidt was fine, but he's old.
Ben Rice is not very good.
Rice probably should be catching. Austin Wells drives me nuts because he doesn't make an adjustment at the plate. He just has that same loopy ass swing.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is giving a qualifying offer to Trent Grisham and no one signs him, and then he accepts it and comes back to New York. I mean, Volpe, who was a Gold Glover his rookie year.
Yeah.
I don't wish it on anybody. I hope they just say we're gonna try to trade you to another team and give you a fresh start. Some people need that. He's from New York. He's idolized Derek Jeter his whole life. You know how hard it is? We've been looking for the next Derek Jeter since he retired. It's never going to happen. Just give me a guy. But I think he's just like, give him a fresh start. Just like it was good for Zach Wilson to get out, Zach Wilson or Sam Darnold to get out in New York. Just a fresh start would be good. But I think it's just two different baseball philosophies. The Dodgers live and die by the home run.
Yeah.
The Jays definitely do not. I'm rooting for. I want to see that type of baseball come back. Good
Yep, I
defense,
love it.
good pitching, and hitting, timely hitting. That's what I want. I'm like, and that's what I kind of see the different philosophies. I'm like, this is what I should be watching. This is what young players should be doing. The boom, the dingers. I've literally yelled at some of my players when I hear them say that. I'm like, dinger. I'm like, shut up and just give me a base hit.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Get on base. Don't try to kill the ball.
But I will say one thing I've always said, and I think you can do a lot with the Jays, but one player young people should watch, young baseball players, is Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
He plays the game the right way. It's just like
he just plays for the evil empire.
Yeah, he plays for the Dodgers. But I'm like, I'm fine. I can like him. I just don't want him to win right now.
Yeah.
So, I can root for players. I won't be putting on a Jays hat for this, but I'll be like, I got a rooting interest. I just don't want to see the Dodgers win.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Right.
I'm not going up against. I still love America. I'm from the USA, but I just don't want to see that.
You're welcome to Canada. Come to Canada anytime you want.
Hey, I got some Canadian friends. I love them. They're very nice people.
They're nice people here.
I will say, and I know you said way out of right field, really different cats.
Oh, for sure.
Like the stuff that came out of their mouth, I'm like,
yeah, we're different.
Different, but all very nice people.
Yeah, but I love. Yeah, we're different.
But I mean, like, I just don't want to see the Dodgers win, and that's why I like the Brewers, and this is why I like the. It's just the type.
I don't like the Brewers because you know who used to own the Brewers?
Jeff Lurie.
No, the Seeley family.
Oh yeah.
That's how he got involved in baseball. Oh, Brewers and Bud Selig. I can't wait for the playoffs. It's gonna be great. We're gonna be back on quite a bit talking throughout.
Oh hell yeah, definitely. This has been.
We'll be ad hoc doing it.
This is great. Hopefully, Evan won't be looking like Frank the Tank from Barstool.
No,
with his watch right here.
I'm going in with there's no expectations. I just want them to have a good series and be competitive. Because they've already played with house money. I didn't expect them to make the playoffs. I didn't expect them to go throughout the playoffs, but they've been phenomenal. They've shocked me. After Game 5, I had zero faith, and they brought it back. Now I'm playing with house money.
At Game 3, you had zero faith.
That's true.
And then Bieber just shoved, and he didn't look as good in Game 7, but he shoved.
Yeah, his slider did not kept on carrying over the plate. That's what killed him.
Yeah. But I mean, they're gonna have to get him going.
Scherzer, but I think but they'll put him in Game 4. I think they'll give him a little break. Scherzer has to get in there quickly. Scherzer in LA Game 3 that he can shut them down quickly.
Scherzer is a momentum, and like you saw,
he's a momentum killer. He can kill your other team's momentum.
But he's a momentum pitcher.
Saw his emotion is phenomenal. He was knocking people over, pushing people. He was phenomenal. Mad Max is the best. I love it.
Yeah, and he's used to that. He's pitched in LA, so he's used to that. He's
exactly.
But I'm expecting a great series.
Me too. Can't wait.
So I mean, it's you can't beat this time.
Nope.
NBA just started, even though it's poor for both us. NFL's going. You got college football and you got hockey. There's sports galore. So I mean,
NBA even started yesterday, and I didn't even notice. The only cool part about it is the fact that I don't know if you saw it, but it's like one of my favorite theme songs. The fact that NBA on NBC is back. That song.
Oh yes. Round Ball Rock.
Yeah, I love Ball Rock. By the way, they wanted to change it up, and the people said, "Nope, keep it."
Oh, I was literally texting.
That made John Tesh's career. It made John Tesh's career.
I was texting with my brother and dad, and that's the first thing. This is amazing.
Yeah. When you bring that back, it's phenomenal.
But it's just a great time to. I know a lot of wives are like, why does it have to be October? Because now I got sports on all day, and they're getting neglected. But as a sports nut,
I love it.
It's great. But want to thank. I think we probably hit it.
Yeah.
everything tonight. I want to thank everybody who were tuned in for another episode On Deck here on FTSN. I'm Russ Morgan here with my man Fifth Stanza all the way through the playoffs. I hope everybody has a great night.
Go Jays.